In a world shaped by artificial intelligence, the most important education is not how to use AI faster, but how to reason ethically before using it at all. Because AI can write, calculate, analyze, predict, automate, recommend, classify, and optimize, but AI does not automatically know whether the purpose behind the task is just, humane, fair, or necessary. That responsibility still belongs to you, and this is where the real problem begins. Most education systems are still training students to complete tasks, follow instructions, pass exams, compete for credentials, and enter the workforce. But the AI age does not merely need people who complete tasks. It needs people who can question tasks. It needs people who can ask whether the objective is ethical before making the process efficient. It needs people who can ask who benefits, who is harmed, who controls the system, who is excluded, who carries the risk, who has consent, and who becomes invisible inside the metric. That is ethical reasoning, not moral decoration, not a polite values class, not a poster on the wall saying honesty, respect, and responsibility. Ethical reasoning is the ability to judge action by its consequences for human dignity, human rights, fairness, freedom, consent, well-being, and the welfare of others. This becomes essential because AI does not only amplify intelligence, AI amplifies intention. If the intention is humane, AI can improve education, healthcare, accessibility, sustainability, creativity, and public service. If the intention is exploitative, AI can automate manipulation, surveillance, inequality, exclusion, and psychological control. The machine may become more advanced, but the moral direction still comes from human beings. That is why we must stop treating ethics as a secondary subject. Ethical reasoning must become central to education because every student entering the AI age will eventually face decisions where technical competence is not enough. An engineer may be asked to approve automation that works technically but creates public risk. A software developer may be asked to build systems that collect more data than necessary. A manager may be asked to reduce people into efficiency scores. A designer may be asked to make a platform more addictive. A marketer may be asked to exploit insecurity and call it engagement. A teacher may be asked to use a system that measures students but does not understand them. A policymaker may be asked to trust algorithmic decisions because they look neutral, fast, and objective. In each case, the key question is not whether the system works. The key question is whether the system should work in that form, for that purpose, with those consequences. This is the question education has avoided for too long. We have trained people to ask, how do I solve this problem? We have not trained them enough to ask, who defined this problem, whose interest does it serve, and what happens if we solve the wrong problem efficiently? That failure becomes dangerous in the AI age because AI is powerful at execution. It can carry out objectives at scale. But if the objective is flawed, biased, narrow, cruel, or exploitative, AI will not save us from that objective. It may strengthen it. This is why students must learn that efficiency is not the same as ethics. Profit is not the same as value. Legality is not the same as justice. Tradition is not the same as truth. Authority is not the same as wisdom. Popular acceptance is not the same as moral correctness. Technological possibility is not the same as ethical permission. A system can be legal, profitable, scalable, and popular while still being ethically wrong. That one idea must be drilled into modern education, because without it, students become skilled operators of powerful systems without becoming responsible judges of those systems. And that is not education, that is advanced compliance training. The deeper problem is human nature itself. We like to believe we are ethical, but most people are very good at rationalizing their own advantage. We defend our group. We protect our status. We justify our comfort. We excuse our institutions. We call ambition what is actually greed. We call discipline what is actually fear. We call strategy what is actually manipulation. We call unity what is actually conformity. We call opportunity what is actually exploitation. We call professionalism what is actually silence. This is why ethical reasoning has to be taught systematically. It is not enough to tell students to be good. They must learn how self-deception works. They must learn how prejudice works. They must learn how group loyalty can distort judgment. They must learn how institutions hide harm behind procedure. They must learn how language sanitizes cruelty. A worker becomes a resource, a citizen becomes a risk profile, a patient becomes a case, a student becomes a score, a community becomes a market, a human being becomes data. Once language removes the person, harm becomes easier to justify. AI can intensify this because AI systems often deal in abstraction, data points, predictions, scores, categories, rankings, risk levels, performance indicators. None of these is wrong in itself, but all of them become dangerous when we forget the human being behind the category. That is why ethical education must teach students to restore the human reality behind technical language. Every metric has consequences. Every model excludes something. Every system rewards certain behaviors and punishes others. Every automated decision carries assumptions. Every optimization asks us to choose what matters and what can be ignored. These are not just technical choices, they are ethical choices. This is also why students must learn to distinguish ethics from religion. Religion may provide meaning, identity, devotion, discipline, and spiritual direction for many people, but religious belief does not automatically become universal ethical truth. A belief may be sacred to one community, but it cannot justify coercion, persecution, humiliation, violence, or denial of basic rights toward others. In an AI-enabled world, this distinction becomes even more important because technology can turn intolerance into infrastructure. If AI is used to monitor belief, punish difference, enforce conformity, or restrict freedom, the issue cannot be hidden behind tradition or theology. The ethical question remains clear. Does this action unjustly harm, control, degrade, or deny the dignity of another human being? If yes, no religious or ideological justification can make it ethical. Students must also learn to distinguish ethics from law. This is one of the most important distinctions in public life. Something can be legal and still be unethical. History proves this repeatedly. Slavery has been legal. Discrimination has been legal. Censorship has been legal. Exclusion has been legal. Persecution has been legal. Unjust labor practices have been legal. So when education tells students only to obey the law, it is not enough. Students must learn how to judge the law. They must ask who wrote it, who benefits from it, who is harmed by it, who can challenge it, and whether it protects human dignity. This matters even more now because technology moves faster than regulation. A company may legally collect user data, but that does not automatically make the collection ethical. An employer may legally monitor workers, but that does not mean constant surveillance respects dignity. A platform may legally manipulate attention, but that does not mean psychological exploitation is acceptable. A government may legally deploy automated classification, but that does not mean citizens have transparency, consent, or appeal. The law may permit what ethics should question. That is why ethical reasoning must operate even when law is silent. Students must also learn to distinguish ethics from social convention. What feels normal is not always right. Every society trains people to accept certain customs, hierarchies, habits, identities, and expectations as natural. But many injustices have survived because they were normal. People accepted inequality because it was traditional. They accepted discrimination because it was common. They accepted humiliation because it was expected. They accepted exclusion because everyone around them approved. That is the danger of conventional morality. It can make injustice look respectable. Ethical reasoning gives students the ability to ask whether a social practice is actually justifiable. Does it cause unnecessary harm? Does it deny consent? Does it violate dignity? Does it exploit vulnerability? Does it silence freedom? Does it punish people for something that is not inherently unethical? These questions matter because AI will not remove social conditioning. It may automate it. Earlier, families, schools, media, and communities shaped belief. Now algorithms shape attention, emotion, identity, and opinion. You may believe you are choosing what to think, but your digital environment may be continuously shaping what you notice, fear, desire, and repeat. You may believe your opinion is independent, but it may be reinforced by recommendation systems designed to keep you engaged. You may believe you are seeing reality, but you may be seeing a behavioral profile reflected back to you. This is why digital literacy without ethical reasoning is incomplete. Students must learn to ask why they are seeing certain content, what emotion it is trying to trigger, Who benefits if they believe it, whether it simplifies complexity into enemy narratives, and whether it encourages reflection or reaction. Because in the AI age, manipulation does not always look like force. It can look like personalization. It can look like convenience. It can look like entertainment. It can look like relevance. This is where education must become more serious. Teaching students how to use AI tools is useful, but not sufficient. A student can learn prompting, automation, analytics, and content generation, and still remain ethically immature. That person may become more productive, but productivity without conscience is not progress. A highly efficient, unethical person can cause more damage than a slow one. A highly efficient, unethical organization can exploit more people with better branding. A highly efficient, unethical platform can manipulate at scale while calling it engagement. So education must move beyond employability. It must develop judgment. It must develop conscience. It must develop intellectual courage. It must develop fair-mindedness. It must develop the ability to question incentives, power, systems, and consequences. This does not mean teaching students to reject everything. It means teaching them to examine everything. A mature student should be able to respect tradition without becoming trapped by it. Use technology without worshiping it. Follow law without surrendering conscience. Belong to a community without dehumanizing outsiders. Pursue success without sacrificing integrity. Participate in institutions without becoming morally numb. That is the kind of human being the AI age needs. Not passive users, not obedient workers, not blind consumers, not credentialed specialists without conscience, not people who can operate systems but cannot question them. The AI age needs people who can think clearly, feel deeply, judge fairly, and act responsibly. This is why ethical reasoning must enter every discipline. Engineering students must study public safety, sustainability, risk, and responsibility. Computer science students must study privacy, bias, surveillance, explainability, and consent. Business students must study labor dignity, consumer manipulation, inequality, and ecological consequences. Medical students must study patient agency, access, human judgment, and algorithmic bias. Teachers must study how AI can support learning without reducing students to performance profiles. Managers must study how productivity systems can either elevate human capability or quietly dehumanize work. Ethics is not a separate department. Ethics is the foundation beneath every decision that affects life. And yes, this makes education more uncomfortable. It should. Real education is not meant to produce people who merely fit into systems. It is meant to produce people who can judge systems. A student who never questions power is not fully educated. A professional who never questions incentives is not fully mature. A leader who never questions consequences is dangerous. A citizen who never questions legality is vulnerable. An innovator who never questions harm is irresponsible. This is the educational reset we need, because if AI is introduced into weak education systems, it will expose the weakness. If education is based on memorization, AI will outperform it. If management is based on control, AI will intensify it. If politics is based on manipulation, AI will scale it. If business is based on extraction, AI will automate it. If media is based on outrage, AI will personalize it. If society is based on hypocrisy, AI will reveal and magnify it. But if education is built on ethical reasoning, AI can become a powerful partner in human development. It can reduce repetitive work. It can expand access to knowledge. It can improve personalized learning. It can support better public systems. It can help communities solve local problems. It can increase creative freedom. It can help human beings move from survival-driven work toward meaningful contribution. But that future will not happen automatically. It depends on the ethical maturity of the people using, designing, regulating, and governing AI. So the question for teachers is not only, can students use AI? The question is, can students question AI? The question for leaders is not only, can AI improve efficiency? The question is, does this efficiency serve human dignity? The question for engineers is not only, does the system work? The question is, should the system exist in this form? The question for parents is not only, can my child compete? The question is, can my child think independently in a world designed to influence thought? The question for students is not only, can AI help me complete my assignment? The question is, can AI help me become more thoughtful, responsible, and capable of contributing something meaningful? This is the real transformation. AI should not make education less human. AI should force education to become more human, more reflective, more responsible, more courageous, more truthful, more connected to the welfare of others, more willing to question harm disguised as progress. Because the most dangerous future is not one where machines become intelligent. The most dangerous future is one where humans become morally passive while machines become powerful. And the best future is not one where AI replaces human judgment. The best future is one where AI gives human beings more time, clarity, and capability to exercise judgment at a higher level. That future begins with education, not education as certification, not education as compliance training, not education as labor market conditioning, education as the development of conscience, judgment, courage, clarity, and responsibility. That is the work ahead. That is the real AI revolution. Ethical reasoning is not a soft skill. It is the core skill of the 21st century. If this perspective connects with you, like this episode, share it with someone who cares about education, leadership, technology, and the future of human responsibility, and subscribe to the channel for more sharp, practical, and thought-provoking discussions on AI, management, engineering, project leadership, and human-centered progress. Also, follow me on my LinkedIn newsletter, where I expand these ideas into deeper reflections on progressive thought leadership, ethical management, responsible innovation, and the future of human decision-making in the age of AI.